Hi traders, this is Taylor from the TradingAnalyst.com, where you can enjoy all of the member-only features like the live chat room, educational videos, and the real-time option and stock alerts, and much, much more with your 7-day free trial, where you're not only going to be making money from the alerts that we're giving you, but you also have the opportunity to learn while you earn in the classroom setting of the live chat room, as well as the daily member videos that go into quite a bit more detail on the market. It's a great opportunity, and I suggest you take advantage of it. So we're going to do a general market overview video. I'm going to cover Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, Apple, Google, all the major movers that we like to pay attention to, especially as of late. I feel like it's pretty important to go over these charts because they've been the strongest market movers, and they're responsible for a great part of the moves that we've been having in the market. So I feel like it's really important to go over them. Okay, so I'm going to cover monthly charts, weekly charts, daily charts of all these stocks. So first we're going to cover Amazon here. I've got, this is the monthly chart of Amazon, the 5-year monthly chart. Got a couple of trend lines. We've got this trend line down here. This is a really nice trend line right there. Okay, that's not going to be relevant for a long while, if ever. So, but I just want to kind of note it because it is a really nice trend line down there. Okay, we've got another one that is much more relevant to us in the near future. Because we may have a test of it in the near future. So you can draw it from the lows starting in January of this year. And right now, just hit it just recently last month, or 2 months ago rather, and it's going to line up right around 560 or so. So kind of keep an eye on that moving forward. I'm going to take a look at the weekly chart here. Okay, so, another thing I want to point out with the monthly chart is we've got a shooting star doji up here. Okay, so that's typically a reversal candle. It's kind of my favorite reversal candle. It's the opposite of a hammer, and Amazon has not had that in a long time. As you can see, there's no shooting stars at the tops of a trend. This is a shooting star, but the difference between this shooting star and this shooting star is where it is in the trend. Okay, we've got at the top of an uptrend. Okay, and we don't know if this is the top. Okay, but it is at the point where the stock has been in an uptrend for quite some time, okay? For all of 2015, so for almost 12 months now, we've been in an uptrend. So when you have a candle like this at the end of 12 months, it's kind of significant, okay? Of course, as always, with these candles, they need to be confirmed. So that confirmation would be a red candle as the next candle. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily chart here on Amazon. Okay, so the daily chart, we've got some support right around here at 630. You know, the way that the market is moving right now, you know, we're probably going to slice right through that. Next support is down at 600. Okay, and we've got this uptrend line here. It's not the strongest uptrend line, but it is definitely a valid uptrend line. We've got 1, 2, 3 touches, and you know, I'd almost consider a few of these other guys touches as well. So, and that'll match up right around between the 600 and 630 level. So keep this trend line in mind. I know it's scary with the market kind of tanking as it is, but you have to keep this trend line in mind because we could get a bounce from there, okay, especially from a strong stock like Amazon. But that I think will be short-lived as we do have the longer term monthly chart, like I mentioned before, with the shooting star doji. But in the short term, we could definitely see a bounce from this trend line. If it closes below that trend line, we're going to be tagging this 600 mark. The next support we have down here, some really strong support around 540, between about 520 and 540. As you can see, look at all these candles that are just trading right, bouncing between that area. Okay, a lot of trading went on in this area. As you can see, it was resistance right here, and then we went back up into this area of trading. Look at how many candles are within that range. Okay, so a lot of support is going to be found within this 520, 540 area. Okay, if we dip down there, definitely going to be looking for a long play on on Amazon, just because at least on the initial retest of this level, we should see a bounce. Okay, longer term, we might break through that, but we've got to test it again. Okay, so that's how charts work, is they come down and they test the area, come back up, and they'll test the breakdown area up here, and then they break through. Okay, I'm not saying that's what is going to happen with Amazon, I'm just kind of explaining that's how charts work if it were to break down. So first test, I do like it for a bounce. I really like it for a bounce between this 520 and 540 area. And I think that if we slice through this area, coming down here, get a bounce from here, come back up, retrace to about 600 to 630, and then come back down and break through it. Okay, again, not predicting, just showing you how charts work and a high probable likelihood of events that may occur. Okay, moving on from Amazon, I'm going to cover Apple. Okay, and I'm going to start with the monthly chart here. Okay, so Apple, we broke through. We have this is the monthly chart, 5-year chart. We've got this trend line here starting from the lows in 2013 July, and then we have this nice, I'd consider that not just one touch, but 1, 2, 3, 4 touches right there. So that's 5 touches. Almost touched it right here, and then we broke through it earlier this year, and all this bounce was a retest of that broken trend line. Okay, so as you can see, we hit this trend line again, got rejected, came up, hit the trend line, got rejected, hit it again, got rejected, and now we're working on this downtrend line right there. Okay, so we've got that downtrend line. We've got support on the monthly chart right here. What is that? That is about 108, 107. Okay, from these candles right here. And then moving forward below, if we break below that 108 support, we're going to tag this 96 area. Okay, I think that is a likely event. That was near the lows from the August crash lows. Okay, if we get down there again, I do think we might bounce again from that area. So keep that level in mind. As you can see, we've got support from these candles, and there was a lot of trading that went on over here in that area as well. So if we get to that area, I like it for a bounce back, retest the 108 level, and then we'll break through that 96 and eventually get that 80 level down here. Okay. Again, those aren't predictions. Those are what I think are likely going to happen If something changes on the chart, we adjust and we change our we change our targets. Okay, so I'm going to look at the weekly chart for Apple right here. So as far as the weekly chart is concerned, we've got this trend line here, and then we're still above this trend line right here. Okay, so if we break through this 112 area, then we're breaking below that trend line. And if you're wondering about this candle right here, well, there's a weekly candle, and it opened below this trend line, but it closed back above the trend line. Okay, so that did not break that trend line right there from a weekly perspective. Okay, so we are coming. This is the downtrend line that I mentioned before. We've got this uptrend line support. Again, same thing on here. You can kind of move up. Well, there's support right there, and then you can draw a little bit of support right there, about 108. Okay, so there's quite a bit of support between 108 and 102. Next support, like I mentioned on the monthly chart, is at 96. Again, if we break down to that level, I do like it for a little bit of a bounce. But again, eventually I do think that level breaks. Okay, looking at the daily chart on Apple. All right, so daily chart, we've got support again. And I know that some of this is repetitive, and you're seeing the same supports and resistances on multiple time frames, but it just gives you a good context when you're looking at multiple time frames to kind of like navigate the market. You know, you want to look at multiple time frames because it will give you a better insight into where we're headed and where we're going. Okay, so we got resistance up here at about 117. Okay, slice through that on heavy volume. We've got this support at 108. Okay, and that's pretty much all that I'm going to kind of show on the daily chart. Again, you can kind of draw this downtrend line right there. Okay, and that's it for Apple. I'll move on to Tesla here. Tesla, I'm going to start with the monthly chart here. Okay, so Tesla, not looking so hot. We broke this. We've got this uptrend line here, bounce there, and then we finally broke through it right here with this candle, and then we came up here and we retested that broken trend line and got rejected. Okay, so it was simply a retest of the broken trend line, and we got rejected. So two candles closing below this trend line, definitely significant, and I would consider it a valid trend line. So moving forward, we've got support at 180. It's really nice support at 180. As you can see, that's where we bounced off several times over here several times, and as you can see, that was the highs of this candle, and then it broke over that 180 level and bounced hard. Okay, so keep this 180 level in mind because it's very important. Okay, it's also the highs near these candles as well, so 180 level definitely important. If this 180 level cracks, we've got support down here at 120. Okay, from the lows of these candles, highs of these candles, highs of these candles. Okay, another thing that I want to point out is we've got the Fibonacci retracement levels, the lows over here to the highs of Tesla, and what do you know? The 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level matches up perfectly with this 120 level support. Okay, so if we get down to 120, definitely like it for a bounce. It could break below that 120 level, but on the first test, I definitely like it for a bounce. Looking at the weekly chart on Tesla. Okay, so again, we've got this 180 support. We've got some support at 200 as well. 200, 180 support, as you can see from the lows over here, the lows over here, and then we've got the highs over here, which came up to about 200. Okay, so if you look at this Tesla chart, we've got somewhat of a complex head and shoulders look to it. We've got this left shoulder, and this could be the left head, the right head, and we could be forming the right shoulder right here. Definitely if this 180 level breaks, as you can see, there's no real support between 180 and 120. A little bit of support, I guess you can draw it right here from these candles at about 140, but not much. Okay, I'm going to move on to the daily chart for Tesla right here. Again, definitely a better picture of what's going on with Tesla when you're looking at the monthly and the weekly time frames, in my opinion. We've got that support right there. We've got this downtrend line right here. Okay, and then we've got the support at right here, right where it's at. It's right at support. Okay, below that, we've got some support down here at about 190. Okay, and some better support at 180. Okay, so those are the levels that I'm looking at. As you can see, we've got a lot of action in this level right here, so that should act as strong support. But if we do break below these levels, okay, that would be significant, and I would say highly probable that if we do break below these levels, we're going to end up tagging this 190 and 180 levels. Okay, so let's see what else I need to go over. Google, the monthly chart. Okay, so Google right here, we've got this uptrend line right here. This is the monthly chart, 5 years. Another thing that I want to point out is a couple of things. We've got this upper channel line right here. Actually, it's not a channel line because the bottom is not parallel with it, but this upper trend line, okay, you can draw trend lines on the tops and bottoms in uptrends and in downtrends. So I just want to show you guys how you can do this. We've got a trend line on the top from here, shortable here, and then shortable here again on this touch. Okay. Another thing I want to point out is, again, just like I mentioned with Amazon's monthly chart, we've got this shooting star doji at the top of this trend line and at the top of a really nice uptrend. Okay, so you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, there was one right here. Okay, well, that wasn't at the top of a 5-month uptrend. Okay, so that's the difference. It matters where these candles are within a trend. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's also a really long-legged shooting star doji, so it's not just a little doji right here with kind of minimal shadows on each side. We've got a really long shadow or wick, whichever you prefer to call it, on Google right there. Okay, moving forward with Google, we've got really good support at this 600 level. Okay, and that's going to match up perfectly with this uptrend line. By the time that Google travels to that 600 level, again, these are not predictions. If Google does break down to that 600 level, it's definitely going to be a bounce level for me. We've got a lot of support in this area. Again, this was heavy resistance. This 600 area got rejected once, twice, 10 times right here, and then it finally broke over, and again it retested that 600 level and then bounced from there. Okay, so I not only like it for the chart pattern, but I also like it because it's a nice round number of 600. Okay, let's see here. So again, by the time that Google travels down here to that 600 level, it's going to match up perfectly with this uptrend line right here, and I really like it for a bounce in that area if and when it does get down there. Okay, I'm going to cover the weekly time frame. Kind of the same thing. I'll go over really quick. We've got support at 600. You can see it even better on the weekly chart. Even more support, well, not even more, just a lot of support again down at 540, between 510 and 540. As you can see, a lot of trading going on in this area. Okay, a lot of trading that went on between this 540 and 600, so definitely an area that I'm interested in long, and it'll match up with that perfect uptrend line. Okay, let's take a look at the daily chart for Google. Let's see, we've got a trend line, just a shorter term trend line that it broke right here. Okay, we've got see if we can draw a trend line right here. Okay, it's only had 2 touches, so not exactly the strongest trend line right here, but I'm going to draw it right there in case it does honor that level, because if it does bounce from that level, we're going to know that this trend line is going to be more valid. But as of right now, I'm just drawing it as a guide. We really want to see at least 3 touches on a trend line in order for it to be valid, but I'm just going to draw it anyways to show you guys the possibility of it having that 3rd touch. Some resistance and support. We've got support down here at 700. We've got some more support at 680. As you can see from the highs of these candles, that 700 level is important. This is where it topped out right there, and it's a nice round number, 700. The lows of these candles, 680. The highs of these candles, 680. The lows of these candles, 680. This is where it topped out a couple of times. Okay, so you know this 680 level is important as well. Another level is this 660 level. Sorry about that. This 660 level, and again, a little bit down here at 640, but definitely, yeah, so a lot of trading that went on in this area right here. So Google's gonna have to stop somewhere, okay? And it's gonna have to stop somewhere between these levels right here. And I know this is kind of vague, analysis of Google and where I think it's gonna bounce right here, but we've got a lot of potential bounce zones, and I'm kind of gonna wait to see if we can get any kind of hammer candles or any kind of bottoming candles between this area. But definitely, I do think it bounces at least from the 640 level. Probably get a short-term bounce from 700 at least, just because it's already been trading down significantly. So definitely think we can get a bounce in this area over here as well. So let's see, Facebook, last but not least. Facebook, I'll cover the monthly chart first. Okay, Facebook, really nice uptrend that we got right here, still intact, obviously. We've got the uptrend line that started from here, the lows of 2013, nice bounces so far right here along that trend line, and that's going to match up with about 96 when Facebook gets to that level, if and when Facebook gets to that level. Again, I want to point out this shooting star doji on the monthly chart. You know, these candlesticks on the monthly chart are not to be ignored. They're pretty significant, and you need to pay attention to them. We're going to look at the daily chart on Facebook right here. Mention this trend line break, and this is significant along with the shooting star candle. If you look at the volume, we had a nice volume pop as well. Okay, and that is another sign. That's if you're going short, or whichever way you're playing a stock, if a trend line or a support line is broken, you want to see it break with a pop in volume. Okay, and this Facebook broke this uptrend line with a expansion of volume right here, and to me that means that it's definitely a legitimate trend line break, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're getting short on a stock. Looking at the supports moving forward, we've got a lot of support in this 96 range, 96, 93, and a little bit down here at about 90. Okay, so a lot of support within this range, and it also matches up with the Fibonacci retracement levels. So I'm going to draw it from the lows of the August crash to the highs up here. Okay, so all the Fibonacci's are within this level. Okay, I really like Facebook for at least a short-term bounce between this 96 and 88 level. Okay, I know you can't really day trade with these levels because they are you know, pretty spread out, 96 to 88, but definitely I'm going to be looking for some longer term long plays within this 96 to 88 range. If you want to scale in starting at 96, it's probably a good idea. Last scale would be at about 88 to where you'll be at a full position. That's probably what I'm going to be doing, so look forward to that. Keep watching the videos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm done for now. Again, as always, you can visit us at www.thetradinganalyst.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you over there.